We got this set up though, so just
yeah. Hey, this is random, out of the blue. I reached out to you, based on your number in the database. I appreciate you taking my request, and I'm really excited to talk to you, man. We really appreciate this.
No, of course. Thanks for reaching out and having me on. Love this stuff, so I'm excited.
What are your Thanksgiving plans?
Yeah, so they gave us BC gave us the decision. We can either go home, and if you go home, you have to stay home until you come back after New Year's, or you can stay on campus for Thanksgiving. And then the third option was if you live in Mass, you're allowed to go home and then come back after. So I'm a Massachusetts kid, so I can actually go home for Thanksgiving, then come back up and finish this semester. So that's all I'll be doing, and I think most of my roommates are Mass kids too, so they're doing that as well. But a lot of kids are just going home, so we'll see.
It's weird. I have 4 in college still. 4 girls, all in college, and they're all doing different things. Like you said, I have one that just came home from Northern Arizona. I live in Scottsdale, and she's staying. She's not going to go back. As much as I want to kick her out of here, she's not going back till January. And then I have one that's in Florida, flew home for Thanksgiving, and is going back to finish because much like your pursuits as an athlete, she actually has a real good job. So she's like, I don't want to leave my job for 6 weeks. So that's cool. Your Lexington High School back in the day, remind me of your exact hometown and how far it is from where you're at school.
Yeah, so Lexington, Mass, and it's
okay, it is Lexington. Okay.
Yeah, 25, 30 minutes from Chestnut Hill, where I'm at right now.
So you're right there. So the video I saw in the spring, was that your college teammates driving by to say happy birthday to your mom, or who was that?
Those were actually my high school teammates, my football, hockey, and baseball teammates.
That was cool as hell.
We were in quarantine, and it was her birthday, so I just texted all of them, and they got in their cars and just drove by. Yeah,
that was so cool. That was very, very cool. Danny, sorry about that. I know I don't want to bogart the whole conversation. Let Danny warm you up too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super interested to talk about your sister. I know we called you to talk about you, but it sounds like she's a rock star. And I guess what is your relationship with her?
Yeah, she's an absolute beast. I mean, so me, my brother, and my sister were actually all 13 months apart, exactly. And I don't want to leave my brother out either. So my brother's older than me right now, and he's a senior on the baseball team at Northeastern, right down the street. And my sister had repeated a grade in high school when she went to private school. So she's just a freshman now, and she's down at Duke playing softball. And yeah, I mean, it was just like growing up, always, sports in the house. And obviously she's the only girl, so me and my brother kind of roughed her up a little bit, kind of molded her, but we don't mess with her anymore. She's kind of the beast in the house. And yeah, so she was down there for maybe 4 months, 5 months now, but I think she's home. She came home already.
Yeah, hockey. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah. It's a big. I mean, me and my brother, and my sister, we all play hockey as well. And,
okay.
It's like
I love that she plays.
Big thing up in New England. It's a
sure.
I mean, that's what you do growing up. You toss on the skates and play hockey. So that's big up here, and we all got into that. So.
And how often do you guys communicate now that you're all in different places?
All the time, yeah. I mean, especially since it was her first year playing a sport, she was always asking my brother and myself, what do I do here? With some questions and stuff like that, just preparing her. But yeah, she had a great fall ball, and I think we're all excited to go home.
That's so cool.
Remind me. I wrote down your brother and sister's names, and I can't find the sheet. Remind me of their names one more time, please.
My brother's Nico, Nico, and then my sister's Francesca.
And where's your family from?
So we've lived here my whole life. My dad's from Pittsburgh, and my mom's from New Jersey.
Okay, but you have very Italian names?
Yeah, so my grandparents from Sicily. Yeah, we're Sicily.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so grandparents from Sicily, they came over.
Right.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Sorry, Dee, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, please. I say we put the rest of it on the record.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Get going when you say we're ready.
Recording. So when you're ready.
Okay. So we find you, Sal Frelick, doing great things in Boston at Boston College. It's basically your home because you've educated me geographically that Lexington, Mass is a marathon run away, and that's it. It's very, very close. This has happened so fast for you. And what I mean by that is you earned the right to play at a high level, football, hockey, baseball in high school. at Lexington High School. But I'd like to know what your senior year baseball was like. I mean, were there scouts around? How many did you communicate? You always dreamed of going where you go to school right now at BC, but tell me about your relationship with professional scouts a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, it was very minimal. I think maybe one or two with a text here and there. And I had no interest really in the draft my senior year of high school. And I think that's just credited to, not playing baseball year round and going around and doing a ton of showcases. It was more prioritizing competition and playing multiple sports year round. And I kind of wanted to do that all through high school, and just said I'll stick to baseball when the time comes in college.
So you had these moments your freshman year that no one's supposed to have. I mean, your first handful of games were laughable that you settled in that quickly. And I mean it respectful to the sport. Look, I played and failed it a bunch in the minor leagues in college too, but you were a joke. I mean, your first couple of weeks as a college baseball player were a joke. Why so comfortable so quick? And maybe better, the question is, what did you learn about yourself in the fall that immediately translated into the spring?
Yeah, I mean, so that fall actually, I was kind of out my freshman fall with I got surgery coming in, so I actually didn't play any fall ball. And I didn't really pick up a bat until we got back from winter break around January. And I was just kind of to my last point. I mean, in high school, I would never pick up a bat until January normally because I'd either be playing football or hockey, and then January, February rolls around. It's like, oh, now it's time for baseball. So I think kind of living my life, my baseball life like that in high school, kind of just translated to college where that time rolled around and it was like, oh, this is baseball time. So it kind of just, the transition was the same for me, and it felt comfortable. So I think that's just kind of where the comfortableness came from.
And this is just to follow up with the numbers, and I want Danny to jump in. For all of our listeners to this podcast, in his first 8 college games, he had 16 hits. He had 4 walks. He was hit by a pitch. He had 11 stolen bases. Folks, his first 8 college games, he got on 21 times and stole 11 bases. That's ridiculous, dude. I mean, that's unbelievable. Sorry, D, I just had to follow up with those numbers.
No, we like the numbers. The numbers are super important. I'm going to add one more. Going back to high school, though, 52 touchdowns as a senior, Gatorade Football Player of the Year from Massachusetts. How did you take your love for football, your passion for that game, set it aside, and then use everything you learned from that sport and apply it to your future?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a tough sport to give up, especially senior year, throwing the pads away. But sort of that aggression that comes with football is kind of how I like to play baseball. And what I'm kind of working on now as a baseball player is just controlling that aggression and making sure I don't always have that football mentality. But there are some situations on the baseball field where I think it definitely comes out and allows me to play to my game. So still working on a little bit of it, but I would definitely say that the whole football and even hockey experience has definitely helped me out as a baseball player.
Reading a little bit about you, and you have this quote that I was kind of drawn to. You said, when the lights turn on and I'm between the lines, I feel that I can compete with the best of them. And I love that you said that when the lights turn on. So can you kind of expand on what that means for you and give us like a visual? What do you look like? What do you sound like? What kind of emotions do you display when that happens?
Yeah, I've always found that, just because I think I'm such a strong competitor, that I think I play my best game, whatever that is, in the most high pressure moments, whether it's, in high school it was fourth quarter tie game, or, in college it's bottom 9, runner on third, 2 outs. Like, I always want to be in that situation. I always want to make the last out. I always want the ball getting hit to me. And I found that the more that my mentality can be focused around that, then the less thinking I'm going to do and the easier the game's going to come to me. And I've kind of just adapted to that at the college level. I think that's kind of what's allowed for that really smooth transition from high school to college.
Sal, I'm always intrigued by families, and maybe I separate myself different than some of my colleagues, not because I wanted to get lost. You're writing your own story, my friend. You're your own man, your own adult. You are the story, but I know you and your Italian heritage, a lot of respect for your family and who they are. But man, athletes, like, let's start with mom and dad. Your mom bowled in college at UConn, right? And your dad played college football at Pitt. So I'd love to know some of the conversations growing up you had with mom or dad about athletics specifically, where it wasn't about technique or skills, but just where you learned to get better mentally or physically from mom and dad. You had 2 great parental athletes around you.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think my dad was obviously the first motivator, just putting, football, baseballs in my hands and saying, just go outside and have fun. But I can't give my mom enough credit. She was really the one during the day that had us outside. And to your point, it was nothing about technique. It was just how many times you want to throw a ball, how many times you want to go hit. Like, I'm going to be here for you. We're going to do it as much as you want, because that's where I want to see you succeed. And that just kind of translated to middle school and travel ball, and then high school, where their support was just endless for me and my other siblings as well. And driving us to events and paying for hotels and trips and stuff like that, just to watch us play and have fun, and ultimately succeed. So I definitely owe it all to them, but it absolutely started with them.
So you may face a kid next summer if he jumps quickly. His name's Shane Panzini, and he's based in Pennsylvania, throws high 90s, right? He's a high schooler, though. You've earned your rights as a college player. But his mom did the same thing. Get out of the house. I don't want you in the house. You have siblings, you have friends. Put the computers down, put the video games away, the smartphones away. I'm hearing a little bit of Shane Panzini's mom when I hear about Patty. Patty basically said, boom, out of the house, go be active, right?
Yeah, that was it. It was come home from school, do your homework, and then as soon as it's done, it's unlocking the doors until dinner. You go outside. It was play with the kids down the street, play with each other. I mean, we were making up games, but I think that just whole experience of always being outside and just doing different things out there and having fun, just kind of that same mentality that you can carry onto the field, and always having fun and just being grateful for the game.
I'm always really impressed when families have multiple kids, not only in college, but playing sports. And you're clearly super passionate about your siblings and what your parents have provided for you guys. So, older brother, senior at Northeastern, but your sister, Francesca, is a freshman at Duke playing softball, but had massive accolades in high school for playing hockey, which I love, ice hockey, and I'm just so impressed by. So maybe could you brag on your siblings for a second and kind of give us an insight into what it's like being, one of the three of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, so my brother, obviously, just being the oldest in the family, he's definitely kind of the leader. So we played together in high school in baseball and hockey, and he was my captain my junior years for both of them, and just watching him lead, and kind of watching his development as an athlete was super cool for me, and just to kind of take some of his experiences and then be able to play that out with my own has been super helpful. And he's still here for me along the ride, but we are kind of cross city rivals right now, so we kind of jaw at it when we're on the diamond, but it's all fun and games when we're home. And yeah, my sister was she left public school, she went to a private school, and really wanted to excel on the ice and on the field. And she really didn't know what she wanted to play, kind of the same as all of us, just being multi-sport athletes. Our whole vision was just, what sport can we play at the highest level for the longest time? And I think baseball and softball kind of just came knocking first. And I remember when she committed to Duke, it was an unbelievable day for us. We were so proud of her, and it's kind of crazy that she's down there now, all by herself, because we stayed in Boston close to home, but she was all excited to get out of the city. So but no, I know she's excited to be home now, but just kind of all of us being so close in age and all playing sports, and it's always so competitive in our household, just was really allowed us to excel in the field.
Yeah, I should mention committed to play softball. She's playing softball at Duke, but played ice hockey as well as other sports in high school. So when you guys go home, especially for Thanksgiving, for the holidays, what are game nights like with you guys? I imagine like boards flying, pieces everywhere, cards in the air. Give us a picture of what game night is like with you guys.
Yeah, we usually have to try to keep it girls versus guys, just because when we intertwine, it's usually too much like inter-team fighting. But so it's usually mom and sister versus the boys, and we always have fun with it. It's something we really like to do when we come home. And again, it doesn't really matter what we're doing, whether it's like we're playing each other, in an actual game on the baseball field, or we're playing 500 rummy at home. It's like we're gonna give the same effort and jaw at each other like we normally would.
Francesca is sis. She's going to Duke. Nico, the crosstown rival at Northeastern. I'm going to read a scouting report about you from your freshman year, and just talk to me about it. I mean, when you hear it, I'm sure you've read it or someone has shared it with you. It comes from a Perfect Game scout that made the trip to watch you play. Here's a few of the lines, and just expound. You're talking to an old minor league player myself. Disciplined approach, not often found in a true freshman starting in the ACC. He tracks the ball to either side of the plate, working the count in his favor while utilizing a shorter, quick, linear stroke to the zone, which undoubtedly has helped yield a very high on-base percentage. Take that deeper. I mean, do you feel comfortable with what was said about you? And take that deeper.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he kind of said that it was sort of like a quick twitch swing, and I think that's exactly right. I think my swing isn't something that's long where I'm going to miss the baseball a lot. I think I really base my gameplay, especially at the plate, on not striking out and putting the ball in play. I think my speed plays. So especially when I'm down in the count, when I put the ball in play, I find that I'm getting on base a lot, which kind of just equates to that on base percentage, which I think I like to play for a high one every year. But that sort of quick twitch swing where I don't like missing, especially fastballs early in the count, and it just kind of helps me put the ball in play. So I completely agree with that, and I think that's kind of what I like to emulate my game on.
So from being Mr., to use your words, kind of raw baseball guy when you graduated until we're sitting here talking around the holidays of 2020, what area of your game specifically has improved the most? Or you'd say, Sut, night and day. This was a shortcoming of mine that's now a strength. And one of the reasons I'm being talked about high in the draft, what area specifically of your game have you improved the most?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I was an infielder in high school, and then since I've gotten to college, I've been kind of manning down the outfield. So I think right off the bat, just kind of that versatility as a fielder has definitely improved, and I'm still learning the outfield position every day, and really trying to get better at it. But I think since my freshman year till now, it's just been, I've seen monstrous strides there. And then just from an offensive point of view, I think that I think just chasing pitches out of the zone is something I've really tried working on, and just being more disciplined and noticing off speeds down the count, just letting the ball bounce the dirt, not swinging over it, is something that I'm really trying to work on, just so I can see those walks go up as well.
Dude, I saw you homer Oppo Field, Kentucky, pitch down and away, and you smiling because I was that guy sitting in the bullpen watching it sail over my head. Those are things that I'm guessing didn't happen as much in high school. You've got to be confident. I saw a couple of big hits for you the other way. You've got to be, hecka confident to let that happen. That has to be something that's grown too. The confidence, like, hey, I'm fast, I'm quick, I'll steal some hits with my speed, but I'm confident letting it go almost to my back foot before I make a decision.
Yeah, and I think I didn't hit my first home run until I was maybe a sophomore in high school. My whole entire life, and I think that's just kind of always been the undersized guy. But over the past couple of years, I've really really come into my body type. We have great strength and conditioning coaches here who've really helped me find what I want, for my what weight I need to produce what I want on the field. And I think my power is kind of just starting to come out a little bit more each year. And I think that I'm always going to be comfortable with my speed and my hand-eye coordination. But if I can get that power up, which I'm starting to see a little bit, I think it'll be really cool.
All right, last one for me. So I feel like you are budding into who you are going to be when it comes to baseball, and people are finally giving you the dues and kind of like saying your name a lot more, right? That's part of the reason we wanted to talk to you. But outside the field, outside wherever you are playing sports, who are you as a person? What are you interested in? Where do you give your time to? Who do you give your time to? Kind of give us an insight into the person behind the player.
Yeah, I mean, super family oriented. We kind of touched on that. My family means everything to me. I would say I'm a super religious person as well. It was a big choice in me coming to Boston College. Me and all my siblings are going on, I think, almost 11 years now, altar servers. So I don't know if we'll have Christmas Mass this year, but we'll go home and usually try to altar serve Christmas Mass every year. I love fishing. That's a big hobby me and my buddies took up this summer. We used to go on the lake, and we'd be catching trout and cooking it up for dinner. So those are just some of the things that are important to me, and I've kind of fallen in love with, growing up.
What is it? What is it? I'm sorry, Dee. What is it about I'm a newborn Catholic. I'm only 4 years old. I was a Protestant my whole life. I was one of them. What is it about the faith that you feel like is comparable to preparing as an athlete? What is it specifically about the Catholic faith, and maybe the discipline that goes into it, that provides a bit of a roadmap for you as a man?
Yeah, I mean, it just allows a backbone and kind of in my life, and something and someone I can always rely on. And just, I wasn't always a really, devout Christian and Catholic. It was something, I always went to church when I was a kid, but I didn't really, fall in love with it until I'd say around high school, where I really started connecting with God. And there'd just be times where, it's before a game or something like that. And, I'm very nervous. And I was like, what's this sort of meditation I can get? And I just kind of always went to praying. And that's something that has kind of been in my process, of pregame since, I was a freshman in high school, and it's just always calmed my nerves. And there's just sometimes moments on the baseball field or any field where I'm just like, I do something, I'm like, that was God right there. Like, I really don't know how I did that. So just kind of those connections is something I can always rely on and fall back to, especially when those nerves start racking up.
So for me, my final question is going to be, and we're all, people are hearing this. This is a podcast, but truth be told, all you listeners, we're doing it through Zoom so we can see one another. But I'm going to close my eyes, and I know there probably isn't much room, but I'm grabbing a chair, and maybe it's one of the folding ones from the garage, and you guys are making room for me at the Frelick table. I'm sitting down. What's in the middle of the table? What am I eating? You get to pick the meal that represents the Frelick family the best. And what are we talking about? Like we're all, I get invited. It's just me. What are we talking about? What's for dinner?
So you're going to get the antipasto first. You got the tomato mozzarella, olive oil, garlic salt. We'll start you off with that. And then you'll have a ginormous bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. We call it gravy in my household, but it's
yes.
We'll have a separate pot for you there. We got garlic bread, all buttered up with garlic salt as well. We probably have a little bit of a basil salad, something like that. But we're just talking about life. I mean, our parents will make sure that they're checking on every kid. We'll probably be me, my brother, my sister trying to one up each other the whole dinner, and trying to impress whoever's there. What may it be you? But yeah, I'd say that's the Frelick experience right there.
And Frelick, I apologize. I need to say
that's
the
the
name
best
properly.
answer, by the way. I think I've ever heard of a invite us in and tell us what we're eating type answer. Honestly, my mouth is watering. So thank you for that.
Of course.
So if we ever talk with your sister, who's going to be a better guest? Does she top you?
No chance. Absolutely not. No.
Really?
She'll be good. I don't think she'll top me though. Yeah. Yeah. You had to know I was going to say that.
Yeah, I understand. It's just, this is, we're baseball, softball now here with Perfect Game. And so we're going to track her journey to professional softball or being a doctor, whatever she wants to do, at her highest level. While you're trotting around, hitting homers for the Phillies, we're going to be keeping an eye on her as well. Okay.
I love it.
By the way, Sox fan? Are you a Sox fan?
I'm a Sox fan. Yes.
Okay.
And through.
Okay. That's all I got, D.
That was great. Sal, man, thanks so much. We appreciate you.
No, thanks so much, guys. I had a blast. Thank you.